Mr. Glick.
Yes. First of all, I want everyone to sit down and be quiet before we get started, because I have a couple of things that I need to talk to you about. Please, no talking. All right. Now let's talk about, see the date? I hope you have your date on your brain diagram. First of all, your brain diagram, those of you that still have it, I want you to take it out and take a look at it, because I'm kind of a little disappointed in how you did that diagram. So I'm going to come around to each of you again and have to see if you should get a check or a check plus, and some of you will get a check minus, and others of you, I know you're out there, are going to get a do-over. So let's take a look. Get out your brain diagram. I'm going to come around to each table and I'm going to check it out and see if you did a good job or not. Okay. There is some, I was just looking over the list here, and I was looking at some students who owe me work. And where is Carl? Carl Middlemas? Can you come up here? You need to turn your work into Hubert, because Hubert will give it to me. You still owe me some of, I think you owe me the brain diagram. I don't think you've ever accomplished it. Is Carl out there? I want someone to make sure that we talk to Carl before he gets a chance to go back to Arizona. Okay. Anyway, I hope I sounded, I don't know if I sounded that way in 1971 or not, but I had the opportunity of being at Brightwood after that till 2006. So I spent 36 years at Brightwood. And when I think back of your class in 1971, it was a very special year for me because I had been at Brightwood 1 year, but I was never intending, I don't know if you knew this, but I was never intending to stay at Brightwood. What I was intending to do was to go back to New York City and not come back at the end of that first year. For you, those of you who don't know, I was living in Hollywood. I was living in a boarding house. I had no attachments whatsoever to Los Angeles. And then at the end of that first year, a student gave me a record called I Am, I Said by Neil Diamond. And it said about caught between two shores, L.A. and New York. And to me, I realized that New York wasn't my home, as it says in the record, and that L.A. would be my home. And then when I came back to Brightwood, I knew it would be forever. And I really felt that way. And you were the first class that I knew it would be for the long run. And you were very, very special. You were very advanced, very mature, very sophisticated. You loved the same music I loved. You were still into the Beatles. We were able to run the school newspaper. We had some discussions about mental health, about life. And then I realized what I always wanted to do. And remember, I'm just 30 years old myself. And my growing up in my direction was you. You were what I wanted. And so I wanted to pass on to you some of the things to make you a better person. I used to tell you, don't worry, you're going to be older one day, and you're going to have a job, and you're going to have a career, and you have to prepare yourself for later life. And here we are. Things that I've always tried to bring across to you, some of the things that I had as a child, and one of them was stickball. So when I returned to New York the summer before I taught you, I went and I bought one of the best sticks you can buy in New York. Instead of just buying a broomstick, I got a very special stick, and I brought home the pink Spalding ball that we used. And as soon as I got here, I started teaching you how to play the game. And I was so glad that you liked it. In those days, we taught PE. That was the kind of a fun thing for me. Another thing that some of you had promised to do, and I was talking about the brain, and I said that one part of the brain was called the medulla oblongata, remember that? And I said to you that that would be a good thing if you would name one of your children medulla oblongata. And I wonder if any of you have done that and followed my instructions. And Hubert will let me know at the end of the reunion if that's been so. Anyway, I want to say a couple of other words. First of all, to the other teachers that may be there, we knew we had the secret. We knew we were in the best place we could possibly be. And it's still that way. So those of us, we as teachers, we knew what the truth was. It wasn't so much that we were so good, is that you were so good. That was the key to it. I enjoyed running the safety patrol and honor patrol, as you remember that year, which I ran all the way to the very last year that I was at Brightwood. And we still have our little mini reunions with the honor patrol and the safety patrol. And finally, to realize that we tried to talk about a lot of topics in those days. Remember, we talked about nutrition, cholesterol, heart disease, mental health. We talked about things that were going on in the world. The Vietnam War was still on. And I hope that in my class that you were able to get a little taste of what life was all about. And so in the end, that's what my main goal was. The key thing was to prepare you for later life. And to me, I have said goodbye to Brightwood, but not to you. And I think to me, it's always very special to be around my students. They're really the joy that I have. And what's most important is to see that you're here and to be together, in that not many schools get together at an elementary level. I want to thank Hubert so much for keeping it organized and keeping the dream alive. And to know that I wish I could be with you, but in many ways I still will always be there, and hope that maybe a little piece of the spirit of the school will always remain with us, and realize it was a very special moment that we had, that we can share that time together. So have a good time, enjoy yourself, enjoy each other, and remember one thing, that you need to work on that brain diagram to make it look even a little better, okay? So you can get a check plus. We'll see you next time at the next reunion so I could check that out. Thank you.